Live. Are we live? Let's wait a second. All right, now we're live. Okay, cool. Hello and welcome, YouTubers. This is Chuck Temple with Electric Scooter Guide. I know a lot of people got here a little early. We were here early too, first time ever. Today you're watching episode 22 of Scooter Chat Live. Today we have a whole kind of cool new show going for you today. We've got an extended news section with news from all over the world, plus a bunch of new scooter releases. We've got an interview with Julian, the CEO of Fluid FREERIDE, makers of the Wide Wheel, the Cabo Mantis, the Wolf Warrior. So he sells that over in the United States. We're stoked about those things. And then, of course, we're going to talk all about this scooter here, and we're going to we're going to talk about the Qiewa. It's not Qiewa. I thought it was Qiewa. It's Qiewa QPower for the remainder of the show. And then at 6 o'clock, so in 1 hour and 59 minutes from now, we have the premiere of our review video for this scooter. So if you're interested in a super high power beast scooter, off-road monster that goes 30 miles an hour in 5 seconds. We took it up. I mean, it says a top speed of 50, 55. I took it up to 43 point something before I tapped out. I need more runway than that. So, you know, this is, if you're interested in this beast of a scooter, this guy right here, make sure to stay tuned at 6 o'clock for the premiere of the video review. So cool. All right. So yes, this is episode 22. We covered that. Our mission here at the Electric Scooter Guide is to help you find the perfect scooter for you. We do that through unbiased electric scooter reviews. We also have a website, the electric-scooter.guide. We have that website that has basically the biggest comparison chart in the industry, where you can sort and filter your favorites. Well, not your favorite, any scooter by weight, speed, battery size, whether it's going to have an IP rating or not. That our new comparison will have IP ratings on it. That will go live, I think, within the week, I'm hoping. So cool. Hey Andrew Stone. Hey Patrick. I'll say some hellos. I know there are some people in here early. Fabrice and Shadows of Smoke and Saturn. Little Ewan got his wide wheel, so congratulations to you. Who else is on here? Pat. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, let's keep rolling. We do the show every. I'll keep tabs on the live chat. Thanks, Sean, Mr. Thompson, Miss Thompson. Don't know. All right, so we do the show every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Most Tuesdays, we also have a review coming out right at 6, so we try to do that every week. If you're watching this right now, you're probably already subscribed. If you're not, you should subscribe to our channel because we have the best electric scooter info for you. Also, click thumbs up on us because that really helps us out a lot. You can also follow us on Instagram. We have basically everything we do. We update people via Instagram, but really right now we're focusing more on our Facebook group. It is the best way to find out all the inside information. If you have a question, if you're trying to buy an electric scooter, either your first one or your second one or your third one or your 25th one, the Facebook group is becoming that, and the Reddit, but the Facebook group is a little easier to manage now. That's the best way for you to ask questions. So during the show, you can ask questions on live chat, and you'll see there's between like 20 and 70 people usually on here at any given time. But if it's after the show is live and you're watching this, go to our Facebook group. That's the best place for you to ask questions, where you can put in, hey, I'm 6'2", I weigh 250 pounds, and I'm looking for a dual motor scooter or something like that. And then you'll literally get probably between 25 and 65 comments, all people trying to help you find the perfect scooter, because it's just not easy, right? It's a lot of misinformation. A lot of manufacturer stats are totally incorrect. We're constantly telling manufacturers like, hey, your scooter doesn't weigh 31 pounds. It weighs 39 pounds. And then, they update things. So, that it's hard. And so what we're doing is we're trying to make it as easy as possible. The Facebook group is a good place to go for asking those kinds of questions. And we're on there as well. We try to answer questions at least a few times a day, but you get more people than just us to answer your questions. And we only know about 30 scooters. There's 120 or so pretty popular scooters out there. Speaking of the Facebook group, yeah, little Ewan saying the Reddit has been incredibly helpful. That's awesome. Glad you use the Reddit. We also started and helped to manage the subreddit as well. And Edwin, hi. So speaking of the Facebook group, we do something fun every Friday. We do Photo Friday on the Facebook group. So every Friday, I post, I post like, show us your scooters. People take pictures of scooters, and and so they like to post them all the time, which is awesome. Except then it kind of fills up your notifications with just photos. So we keep them all into this Friday post. And so every Friday on the show, I'll be seeing who got the most upvotes on those photos. And so for this week, we haven't really started that, but I just picked one that I thought was awesome. So this photo is from Mark Carlis, one of the most helpful Facebook group members, and he lives in Australia in New South Wales. And this is a picture of his 8X that was taken under the Warranora Bridge, under the Warranora Bridge in New South Wales, Australia. Shout out to Australia. Hope you guys are doing okay out there with the fires and everything. But anyway, I thought it was kind of a awesome picture. Okay, so next up we have our news section, and so the first thing on the news is going to be just our releases, electric scooter guide releases. We have Scooter Hunters is a pilot that we have produced. It's going to be starring my Uncle Jim, and that's going to be really fun. And so basically it's like House Hunters, where we find somebody that wants a scooter. We take them 3 of our scooters that fit their criteria. We have them ride the scooter and basically just tell us what they think. And it's quite insightful because, I'm one person, I'm a certain weight, I have a certain use case, and maybe that's not your use case. And so the Scooter Hunter show is to kind of help people figure out what's the best scooter for them if they have a different use case. And everybody does. That's why there's no perfect scooter, actually, right? Just like there's no perfect car. There's some people want an SUV and some people want a Porsche, And so really, you can't say there's a best scooter, right? It's what's the best scooter for you. And hopefully this show will help you do that. So that show's coming out, I think Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, if you're on our Facebook or Instagram or even on YouTube, it's harder to see notifications on YouTube, but we'll let you know when that comes out. I'm excited about it. It was fun filming it. I filmed it over on New Year's Day when I was over at my uncle's place, so it was cool. Yeah, and he's crazy, so that'll be some fun stuff in that. Okay, we also next week it'll be the eMove Touring, which is a scooter that Johanna Jędrzejczyk, the former UFC strawweight champion, I think, was riding, and so that's kind of fun. So we'll have that scooter here, and we're doing the full review. That'll be all released next week, Tuesday, same time, same place. And then after that, GoTrax has released a new scooter called the XR, the XR Ultra, and another one. We'll talk about that in a second. We have the XR review coming out the week after that. So, okay. So next up is GoTrax. GoTrax, like I mentioned, has released 2 new scooters that are already available for purchase. You can see the link in the video description for those scooters if you're interested. We actually have the GoTrax GXL V2 as our top scooter under $300, and it's a fantastic scooter. You can also try typing in electric-scooter.guide. I think they may have a discount for you. I'm not sure, but the price is really they're in the low end, right? They're at the it's kind of the super entry level scooters. However, the GXLs by GoTrax have dual pneumatic tires and a disc brake, so they're quite safe. They're reliable overall. Yes, it's a $299 scooter, but but we haven't broken ours, so that's saying something actually, because we destroy scooters all the time. So the new XR looks really similar to the GXL V2. You know, same battery, 187 watt hours, same motor, 250 watts. Looks like the same display, same handlebars. So I'm not really sure what's different. I just messaged Jeff over at GoTrax only an hour ago. Yeah, I haven't seen him respond yet. So, you know, yeah, I'll let you know when we get it. Grenchley, I know, already has a question about the QPower from live chat, asking about how it compares to the Cirrus NF, and we have not reviewed those Cirrus scooters yet, and so when we do, we will absolutely get back to you on how it compares, because I don't have an answer because we haven't tested that one yet. So the XR is available. The XR Ultra is the other GoTrax scooter. It's one level up. It's $399, so it's probably more of a competitor with the Xiaomi M365, which is the most popular scooter in the world. They've upped the battery watt hours on that one to 252 from that 187, so it's gonna go, geez, quite a bit further, maybe a third further. The battery is now 300 watts, so that's going to get upgraded, and the price is $399. We'll find out what the other differences are from Jeff before our review, and we'll see if we can do something with him. They also have a G3 scooter that is coming out, and here's their video on that scooter. I'm not muted. So the G3 is, you know, it's a 280 watt hour scooter. It goes 18 miles an hour, and it has a 300 watt motor. Other than that, we don't have a lot of details yet, but typically GoTrax makes some really good low end scooters. So we're excited to find out about that one. I know it's not like shipped yet or anything like that. I don't even think they have demos, so we'll have to see. All right. Okay, next up, Urban Machina. Urban Machina is now donating $100 Canadian dollars for every scooter sold to WIRES, WIRES, which is to help rescue wildlife in Australia. You know, those fires in Australia, we keep hearing more and more news about it. It's not, you know, it's pretty devastating. So like, kudos to Urban Machina. We like applaud you for, you know, donating that much. That's not a small amount of money on an electric scooters, right? There's not a lot of margin in these scooters. So, you know, good job to you guys. And there's a link in the video description if you do want to buy from Urban Machina. They have a slew of scooters. I think they sell the Inokim brand, which we don't talk a lot about, but is quite a good scooter. They have the Evolve line. They have some other stuff. And I think they ship further than just Canada. You just need to check with them. There might be an extra little fee or something, but check out what they have. Next up, Fluid FREERIDE is having a winter sale on a couple of our favorite scooters of all time, including the Cabo Mantis and the Cabo Wolf Warrior. So again, the links to this and actually the coupon codes are in our video description. So check those out, because now is kind of an awesome time to buy. What's going on, right? Electric scooter market slows down in the wintertime, obviously because a lot of the country in the world is under snow, and it's very hard to ride a scooter when it's wet and snowing and raining and stuff like that. So there's some good deals to be had if you don't mind either waiting for a pre-order or not being able to use your scooter. Like if you live in the East Coast, I heard it was like raining or like snowing or something in New York today. So it's raining out here. I'm on the West Coast in the Bay Area. So anyway, the deal is the Mantis base. We still have our regular discount on that. It's electric. Well, you just look either at our coupons page online or just look at the video description. I think it's like electric scooter guide for Mantis is a coupon code. You save $150 off the Mantis base, and that base model is actually what our review is based on, our written review and our video reviews of the Mantis. The Cabo Pro, Cabo Mantis Pro is $250 off. And that coupon code is like winter sale. Again, it's in the video description. And then finally, what may be the best deal going right now on any electric scooter, total dollar discount wise, is actually the Wolf Warrior, which is definitely the best scooter at $3,000, maybe one of the best scooters, period. It is $700 off, but you have to wait 6 months to get it. So it won't ship until March, but it's $700 off, which is a redonkulous deal. for that scooter. And Fluid FreeRide's a good company to order through because they actually take care of you. You can call them. They'll, it's not like you're dealing with someone in China not getting any service. So next up, I'm gonna go through these quick because we have a couple more to do. Then we have an interview with Julian of Fluid FreeRide about his about the Y Wheel Pro, and then we got to get into this guy here. Okay, so Romania. I wasn't gonna say anything about Romania, but they just passed some new e-scooter laws, which is kind of awesome actually because it's legal in Romania now. And I only bring this up because I think Romania is awesome. I went there a few years back on a road trip with some friends, and anyway, so the Romania, there we go. There's I think that's Dracula's castle right there. So the new rules are, you need to be 14 to ride. If you're under 16, you need to wear a helmet. Everybody should wear a helmet. And then the max speed is 15.5 miles an hour or 25 kilometers per hour. Of course, you need to stay in the bike lanes or be on the right side of the road. Roads going 50 kilometers or less. So good job, good job on Romania for putting these laws together. And I hope everybody wears a helmet, but I mean, that's cool. Now we can go ride scooters in Romania. Next up, Uber, right? Uber, who does, everybody knows Uber. They also have they do a lot of work in micromobility because they own portions of electric scooter sharing companies, right? So basically they have money. The shared side of the market has a lot more money than the personal side, which is what we deal with. And so what they're doing is they're working with the Congress in the United States to enact laws to build out more infrastructure for micromobility in general. And so, of course, they say bicycles, right? But it's really for everything, right? It's for e-bikes, bikes, one wheels, electric scooters, whatever you have, whatever is in the bike lane, they're trying to, help themselves, right, by getting more infrastructure built for those lanes, because then more people will use the micromobility type stuff, which is what we want, right? In cities, it's not fun to drive cars anymore in cities. It's going away. So one thing that is necessary is that most people don't know this, but like cars, of course, are getting safer and safer. There's less fatalities per mile driven in cars because cars are just so safe. What's happening though, while car fatalities are down, bicycle and pedestrian, and there's no data on scooters yet, right? But so you can just lump scooters in with bicycles. So pedestrians, bicycles, e-scooters, that whole thing, the fatalities for that is up 35% because cars are bigger and crazier drivers and everybody's on their phone, and we're out there in the bike lane saving the planet, getting run over, right? So this is I don't need to belabor this point, and I'm not going to talk too much about this, but this is a passion that I have, which is that we can all find out what the best scooter is to ride, but if you don't have a safe place to ride, ain't nobody's going to be riding. So anyway, good on Uber for working, using their lawyers and their money to lobby Congress. Finally, and we'll do this real quick, there's a really good Wired story on how electric scooters can save cities. There's some powerful infographics in that story. Basically, the cost of riding a scooter, the upfront cost of buying it is 1,000 times less than like a car. And then when you're actually riding, you're spending like next to no money. I think to ride 5 miles a day or something on a scooter, you're spending like a couple dollars a year in actual energy, which some people are saying is actually less than the cost of you like eating food and walking there, right? This is powerful stuff. It's great for the planet, whether you agree with global warming or not. Like let's at least be efficient, right, and safe, and all that stuff. So anyway, check out that article because it's all about freeing up cities of congestion. It's all about like spending less money, your hard-earned money, on commuting and less sitting in traffic, and all that stuff. So yeah, a little Ewan saying we need a Ben Fox style movement in the United States. So we're good friends with Ben Fox. Actually, I visited him in London. So maybe we'll we'll figure out how to get him some press or something out here. I don't know that much about it, but yeah. Okay. So then right now we have, so a couple weeks ago, we did our full week on the Wide Wheel Pro, which is the third wide wheel that they made and the third wide wheel that we actually tested. The first one we took on our road trip to the West Coast road trip earlier last year. We broke that thing, jumping it and everything else. Then we got a second one. We did not break that one. But now they have the Wide Wheel Pro, which has all this like amazing build quality. They added a second brake because there was a brake issue on the previous version. This has always been one of the most fun scooters that's affordable. It's like the cheapest and smallest dual motor scooter that is so fun. And little Ewan has one actually. So if you look at the live chat, he'll tell you probably all about it. But for the next couple minutes, it's going to be 8 minutes. This interview with Julian of Fluid FREERIDE. He's the CEO of this distributor for Mercane. So check out this one. If you're not interested in this interview, then just skip forward 8 minutes. Okay, here you go. Hello, Julian. Welcome to the Electric Scooter Guide show. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, awesome. So we have, of course, the Wide Wheel Pro is the scooter that we're going to talk about this week on the show. And so I just thought it would be really cool to be able to ask you some questions since you're the authorized distributor for Mercane in the United States. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes, and we still have a few Chinese sellers here and there, but largely it's only us. And we it's been one of our best sellers. So we have high hopes in the Wide Wheel Pro as well.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I got a chance to test it, and we're gonna release our review at the end of this live show. And we have a written review that's already out. But I just wanted to ask you some questions as the seller. And somebody that's very knowledgeable about all the Mercane the wide wheel scooters. So first question is, who is the perfect type of rider for the Wide Wheel Pro? Who's someone who should buy the scooter, and who's somebody that this scooter is not for?
Okay, well, I mean, I have to start with maybe that when we got into this about 1.5 years ago, I was a little bit surprised by the reception. So I felt initially that it was a little bit more of a niche-y type scooter, maybe also due to lack of experience on my end. I've learned much more by now. But now I see that it actually is a pretty all-round scooter for any type of commuter, and I can build on that a little more. So the typical customer we get is the people who've tried a rental scooter or who've owned a Xiaomi and a Ninebot, and they come to us and they are asking for a little more fun, more punch, more range, and more speed. And they see the Wide Wheel online, they fall in love with the design, and actually that's kind of how the online journey went. They bought it and they were super happy with it, as you can see on the reviews.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably, if I had to put it in one sentence, is best for commuters who want to have some extra fun and some extra power versus the other options out there.
Yeah, it definitely is a thrill ride of a scooter, and we've heard people kind of liken it to the Batmobile of electric scooters, which I think kind of works because it's got that front kind of wing going on it. So
right.
Cool.
Right.
Okay. Second.
One more thing I want to maybe mention is we see a high concentration in cities with hills. So Seattle, San Francisco, some other hilly areas. We have a lot of customers there, and they say it's the only thing in that price range that really works for them because with the dual motors, it kind of really rides up any hill.
Yeah, I feel that. I actually take this scooter up to Tilden Park, which is 1,000-foot incline near where I live, and it's tons of fun. Okay, second question. So we've heard that the Wide Wheel Pro has a stronger stem, forks, and other frame components. Can you tell us specifically what's changed to make the Pro stronger than the 2019 version of the scooter?
Right. Okay. So the stem diameter actually changed. It got a little bit wider, and that's visible to the customer if you put them side by side. They also made it a little bit thicker. We haven't verified that yet, but that's what Mercane told us. And you can see that they moved from the straight oval front stem that it was in the past to a slightly edgy one. So it has a slight flat surface on the side, and overall it seems more robust. It's not like we had, I see other more powerful scooters here, they even have a thinner stem, but I do know that there were some issues, especially on the first iteration of the 2019 wide wheel, that had some weaknesses in the stem, and this has all been resolved.
Great. Okay.
Second piece is the fork. That's the piece on the bottom that basically holds the suspension arms, that holds the wheel. This one has been visibly reinforced, and also when you put them side by side, you see there's more material added, and they kind of changed the shape a little bit, which I can only assume has to do with added stability. And then the last piece, which is really difficult to see, and we took some time to kind of take it apart. So the connection between the stem and the fork has been reinforced. Okay. And in the past, the stem was just going basically on top of the fork, and it was held with two bearings. And now they added an additional nut, and I believe the function of that nut is to hold tight on top of the neck to prevent any wobble from developing.
Okay.
So with the old model, we had a few cases where over time, and I assume these were riders that have roughed it up a little bit, and they felt some stem wobble developing, and we've added washers in the past, and that kind of worked. But now Mercane says with this new setup, the stem wobble shouldn't develop over time anymore.
You said the stem wobble.
The stem wobble,
yeah.
Which to be fair, with the light riding that I've used the wide wheel in the past, it has never happened with me. But I do know some customers who've complained, and we fix it with washers. But we're obviously happy about a more permanent solution.
Okay, great. Next question: what specifically makes the wide wheel scooters one of the funnest to ride?
Well, I'd say the power. It's made for this powerful acceleration, and when customers try it for the first time, they come back and they all have a smile on their face. Just because, especially when they're coming from like lower power scooters, when they hit that throttle for the first time, it kind of pulls you back a little bit. You have to hold on, and you kind of feel that initial punch, which is great in traffic because you can kind of navigate a little better. You can actually take over a bicyclist if you wanted to really quickly. And if I had to summarize it, it's the power that makes it most fun to ride.
Yeah, cool. Last question. Any news or updates on your guys' end about other products or about this scooter?
Well, people who are following the wide wheel, and I guess who are also watching this show, they probably know we went through a recall on the 2019 wide wheel, and that's been quite draining in resources. But we're actually quite happy that I think we're at 85-90% of people who reached out to us and who have replaced the calipers, and that all worked much better than expected. I think thanks to the understanding scooter community that I think cut us a break and also gave us some credit for actually going through that. So yeah. That is, not fully closed yet, but almost closed. So I feel really good. The Wide Wheel Pro, obviously, we're happy that it has two brakes. Yes. So, yes. Don't need to mention more about that, how happy that makes us.
Good.
In terms of, more commercial news, the Pro is on pre-order still for a few days for $200 off. And we're waiting for incoming stock. And then it'll ship around mid-January, latest Jan 20th.
Okay, great.
And then two, three more items. Also commercial. Winter is usually a slow time for electric scooters, right? But we got to run a business, so we put some cool discounts on some of the other models. Like Mantis Pro is $250 off, immediate shipment. The Wolf is $500 off, but only ships in February. So check out the site.
Okay.
And there's some deals waiting.
Awesome, Julian. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. You're our first ever. You're our first ever, Skype guest. So
happy to be the guinea pig.
Yeah, and happy New Year, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thanks to you guys, and keep up the awesome work. I really much appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Julian.
Right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. All right, we're back. Nobody gets scared here. So we're trying a lot of things out this year. So that's our first time ever doing a Skype interview. I hope that y'all liked it. We're trying to get as much info as possible. We take your questions, we take a lot of people's questions, and we just we try to we try to get answers for you guys. So all right, so man, let's talk about this Qiewa Qiewa, okay? It's Qiewa, and now and forever, let's know that this is the Qiewa QPower, okay? It's not Qiewa. I was chatting, right? And when we do research on these things, we go to Facebook, Reddit. We actually talk to manufacturers. The manufacturer voiced to me on Instagram with the pronunciation. It's Qiewa. I could play it on my phone actually if I had my phone here. All right, but let's go over the basics, and I'll take questions. I got questions open on one screen, and I got my stuff over here. So the basics, okay? This thing is $20.99 with free shipping on Amazon. So the link is in the video description. Also, the written review just dropped like 5 or 10 minutes ago. I put that in the live notes, but also if you just refresh your YouTube screen, you'll see the written review is also there for you now. So check out the written review. It goes over all this and more. And again, 6 o'clock is our video review of this scooter, so stay tuned for that. This scooter has a claimed top speed of 55 miles an hour, a claimed range of 55 miles. It has obviously massive knobby off-road tires. It weighs 82 pounds. Someone on the Facebook group said it looked like the Chieftain scooter. I think they were referring to the Kansas City Chiefs, which does kind of work. It has a massive claimed rider carrying capacity of 600 pounds. I don't know where they're coming up with these numbers. The suspension is very good. We'll go over that. And there is a seat option available. I know a lot of people want to find scooters with seats, and so this one does have a seat option available. And if you're buying this scooter, right, it's for off-roading. I mean, like most people that are going to buy this, I'll talk about on-road performance, but the off-road performance is basically spectacular, especially when you have these giant tires, right? And, you know, in this video and just kind of like how we kind of compare it, we compare this to the Cabo Wolf Warrior, which is about $1,000 more expensive, although I guess there is that giant coupon code right now. The Cabo Mantis we comparing this to, right? Even though the Mantis is about $500 less. And then the 010X, about the, what is it, the 21 amp hour version, I believe is the one we tested. We're comparing the scooter to that one too in the review at 6 o'clock, and we can talk about that a little today too. So you've got these, I mean, the notable feature here is these 11-inch knobby tires. 11 inches is about as big as you get. The bigger the tire, right, the safer it really is, because you can roll over obstacles a lot better. It climbs hills. It grabs onto, you know, loose terrain, and it grabs onto it, and so you can climb hills a lot better with this. But the other story besides these tires is the performance, and boy, the performance is fantastic. Like it's among the best we've ever tested on any scooter, including some of the Dualtrons. I mean, when you're looking at top level scooters, right, you're looking at Dualtron Thunder, Dualtron X, the Wolf Warrior, right? We would like to say Nanrobot, but we're kind of putting a kibosh on the Nanrobot right now because they're not doing a great job helping their customers. But I mean, this is up there, and it's $2,000, so it's like less than half the price of some of the other scooters that are your like beefy extreme scooters. But does that mean it's like actually a good scooter? Are there things wrong with it? Well, there are a couple things wrong with it. There are some cons to the scooter, some things that you're gonna probably need to fix out of the box. They're not danger things, but they're things, and we'll talk about those in a second. But first, performance. So for performance, you've got an acceleration that's ridiculous, right? It goes, so we measure performance in increments of 5 miles an hour. We log all that with race logic equipment, and then we go on the computer later and get all the data out. So to 15 miles an hour, it took 1.8 seconds. To 20, 2.7 seconds. To 25, 3.7 seconds. To 30 miles an hour, it took just 5.3 seconds, and then 7 seconds to 35, and then we got it to 40 miles an hour in 10.1 seconds. I actually got the scooter up to about 43 point something, I believe was my max speed, but I'm on a protected part of a bike path, and I actually have to wait until everybody is off of this. It's about an 800 stretch along the BART path. It's like the above ground. It's like I don't know. It's the BART. It's the BART. It's not a subway because it's above ground in that section. Anyway, So, if I had more runway, I think I could have probably taken it closer to 50. I wouldn't say 55 would be accurate, but I would say close to 50 is probably accurate because it had more to give when I was at 43 for sure. It was still accelerating. This is among the fastest we've ever tested. It's actually to 15 miles an hour. It's slightly faster than the Thunder, but then the Thunder, I think, just kind of passes it after that. It's about the same as the Wolf Warrior to 15, but again, right after 15, it just barely gets beat by the Wolf Warrior. And again, these are scooters that are $1,000 and about $1,800 more expensive than this guy. It's faster than the 10X and the Mantis, of course, because those actually have smaller motors in them, so you would expect that to happen. So we also do a 200-foot test. It's kind of similar to the quarter mile, and if you're a car person, most car people look at the quarter mile test as even more important than the speed test or like 0 to 60 test. And so it did the 200-foot test. And, we need to probably release this on the site because I think it is telling. We don't even release this data. It's just internal data for us. But it got to 200 feet in 6.6 seconds, which was exactly tied with the Cabo Wolf Warrior and faster than the Mantis and the 10X. The hill climb time. So we do a 200-foot, 10% grade hill climb, and the hill climb time was also ridiculous. So this is an amazing hill climber. It reached that peak, a 200-foot peak, in 7.5 seconds. Now, I just tell you, when I do this test, there's a certain street that I do it on. I start at the same spot and I stop at the same spot. But in this particular case, right, the darn scooter was still accelerating so fast. I think when I looked at the file later, it was around 27 miles an hour at the top of this hill, and there's a stop sign at the top of the hill. And so the first test, I actually skidded through the stop sign, and there was a car there. So when you guys are, whoever buys this scooter or other beast scooters, there should be. I mean, these things are unregulated. These things are, you got to know what you're getting into, and so like. I feel like it's our job and our responsibility a little bit to just give y'all a little bit of caution, right? So if you've never been on a really fast electric scooter, one of these beast scooters or extreme scooters, these dual motor, minimum, I would say 500 to 1,000 watt in each tire motors, any of these scooters, they put a smile on your face because it's so fast. Like it's very cool. It's very fun. But there are some things that you need to be definitely aware of, which is, when you're accelerating and you're coming up to a stop sign, you can't stop all that fast, right? There's things like that, right? So I blew past that stop sign. So Christy Lee is asking, what is the max weight capacity? And so they are saying 600 pounds, although on their site, they actually, and between the site and the Amazon page, they actually list multiple different weights. The top one is 600 pounds. I think the lowest one's around 500 pounds because they've got it in kilograms. There's a portion on our video review, which is coming up in about 20 minutes, where our producer and I are on the scooter together. It's not a big scooter, so we're a little bit too close for comfort, according to me. Maybe my producer liked it. I don't know. But anyway, we jumped on the scooter at the same time. We got a video of that, and it actually did fine. I didn't even feel it bottoming out. And between he's a 230 and I'm 160. What is that? That's like 390. It did it. It definitely holds, and it's got good suspension. Okay, moving on. So hill climb did great. It actually matched the Wolf Warrior, and of course faster than the Mantis and the 10X. Now the other big story here, and the brakes are coming around, but it's the brakes. This has hydraulic brakes. There's obviously semi-hydraulic, but you can see them. They're giant brakes. Maybe I didn't measure them. I think they're probably 144 to 160 millimeter brakes. And the activation on these hydraulic brakes is just so smooth and so easy. You could brake with one finger. Like you can brake max power with just, going with one finger, which is phenomenal. Our previous record for braking distance, I think, is 9.3 feet by the Skywalker 10S. And before that, it's the Weeped GT50E with, I think, right around 10 feet. This had a stopping distance of 9.1 feet, which is the best we've ever tested. Like the brakes are like unbelievably good, almost too good, in fact. Because what happens when you have really like strong brakes and you don't, and it's so easy to hit them, that you actually need to be you don't need if you're not leaning back, you can easily go over the handlebars because your G-force, your force of stopping is so quick. And so again, caution, we need to have like the pro tip here, but pro tip is, on any scooter that has 2 disc brakes, right, you need to bend your knees and lean back when you brake hard, because your weight is going to get shifted forward real quick. And that means that, at some point, something's got to give. So lean back on the scooter. There was many times when my back wheel came off the ground because I just was not expecting the scooter to stop so fast. It wasn't during braking tests, because I always lean back during those. It was just normal riding. You just don't realize it. And the other thing is that you can adjust the electronic brakes, because of course it has dual electronic brakes as well. You can adjust the strength of that. Out of the box, I think it's probably a 3. I didn't actually look. I should have looked, but I think it's a 3 out of the box. And I wasn't having too much problem. But what happened was, I kind of like to just barely hit the brakes and see if I can get the e-brakes to work without actually using the disc brakes. And a lot of scooters, that's actually how I ride, just to conserve battery and to not have to do brake adjustments as much. On this scooter, what ended up happening was I increased the electronic brake. And so when I hit the brakes, it will brake as I feel like it should with the regular discs, right, which have some give to them, right? But when the e-brakes kick in, it's kind of like they kick in so strong that there's a jerk. It's like you're stopping at a certain deceleration rate, and then your rate of deceleration increases. So that's when I actually got my back wheel off the ground. So anyway, again, we talk about this in review and in the video coming up, but it's just stuff you need to know when you have this scooter. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing to be aware of, because we haven't done a lot of reviews on these real extreme scooters, like these more expensive kind of ones, bigger ones like this, and it's absolutely a safe scooter. It's just you need to know how to use it to be safe. It's like driving a Porsche, right? It's like if you're going 140 miles an hour, you need to know some different things than when you're driving your Civic 65 miles an hour on the freeway, right? It's just a different way of riding. Okay. Let's talk about, cool. Sean Thompson, I'll just quickly go to a live chat comment, is asking, how is the customer service to your knowledge? So, I forgot the link. We'll get the link. So the customer service is interesting. So it's a Taiwanese-based company. They're based in Taiwan. I've been chatting with the owner or somebody at the company via Instagram for a bit. And they have a warehouse where they're shipping the scooters from, and a service center in Chicago, right? And so, you're not going to get somebody on the phone pre-sales, right? This is kind of like, it's not an AliExpress where you don't get any service at all. It's better than that, but it's not like your, Rev Rides or your e-wheels or your Fluid FREERIDEs or your Voro Motors, where you can actually pick up the phone and talk to somebody. It's not quite at that level. It's kind of like this hybrid service model. So pre-sales, there's not a lot of customer service pre-sales, because you can write to them and maybe somebody will call you back. But from what I understand, the people that you can talk to that are US based are more for post-purchase support. And so we tested post-purchase support twice. Once, about 6 months ago, we made a fake email address, and we emailed every single seller that we could find. We either emailed, or we filled out their form, or we did whatever we could. And actually, I need to find the link for that, because I put it into a chart, and I know I've linked it in other videos and on our Facebook group. So just, I don't know, be on Facebook and remind me or something. But the first response time was 60 minutes, and then we did another anonymous test like last week, just in preparation for this review to see if anything changed. They responded within 48 minutes. This was all during the normal, business hours of the United States, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get fantastic help. It just means that you're going to get someone that speaks proper English to respond to you. So so that's as far as we've tested. However, in doing the research, because we do about a week of research before we even get to testing on these scooters, we didn't really run across any of the negative comments that we've heard on other brands, and I won't mention their name. Yeah, I won't mention any names at this point. But yeah, we didn't really have any super negative, comments about, or any negative actually at all on Qiewa. So, I think they have a pretty good model for service. It's not up to the level of other places. Mini Motors USA being another really good one where you can call John up anytime and he'll pick up his cell phone basically and talk to you. That's like A+ customer service and pre-sales. So it's good. It's not great, I would say, for customer service. Alex Voron is asking, greetings. Can you ride this electric scooter in the winter like the Ultron T128? Is it designed for winter conditions on snow and off-road? Yeah, so let's talk about a couple things. One, we haven't taken it to the snow, but I think we're going to. We're finally getting some snow here in California. I can't wait to take it to the snow and make a video on it. From what I hear, other people have let some air out of the tires and are being able to ride in some snow. The other thing is that the scooter has an IP54 rating on their website and on the Amazon page. Now, this is, I contacted them again, and it's not really IP54 because that's a standard, right? And a standard needs to be tested by like a third party testing company. This was not, as far as I know. It was unofficially tested at IP54 in that you can get it wet, you can go in the rain. And actually, we took it outside and cleaned this thing under a hose just now because this thing was super dirty from riding it all over the place and muddy. And that's why it looks so good now. And it's fine. It works fine. We ran it a little bit right after that. And the company Qiewa told me that they use a water resistant glue, and they have an I put it in the oh, Brandon Smith's asking the same question. Was it hold on, let me find my notes. This is a really good question though. Anti-dust mat in the base here. So what, I'm not an expert with IP, certifications or anything. All I know is that it's not officially IP54. It is unofficially IP54. And actually, we asked a lot of scooter manufacturers, and almost every single one that didn't have an official rating, they also said unofficially IP54. Basically, if you're not IP54, you can't even really get the thing wet very much. And that kind of is not, they're basically going to get a bunch of returns and angry customers. So, I don't know. I hope I answered that question. Let's see here. Rabid Marmot. Hey, I know Rabid. I think I know who you are. Rabid Marmot. Forrest. I think that's Forrest. So off-road. Yeah, so we've got some videos of it going off-road, and in the video review, it's like tons of B-roll of it going off-road. It's awesome off-road. It's super fun. It's the best scooter I've ever ridden off-road, and that's because it's the first scooter I've really done a review on with off-road tires. Now, we've done the Wolf Warrior, but we had road tires on the scooter. We didn't have the off-road tires. Our producer was riding another dual motor scooter with, normal road tires. And we were going over mud and puddles and all this other stuff. And I don't know, maybe he's just chicken, but he couldn't actually he would stop and walk where I would just ride right through. And so basically he would just walk, take the camera, the GoPro off, film me going across a puddle, and then I'd wait for him to finish walking. So that's what happened. It does awesome off-road. It's super fun off-road. I went up a really steep hill, way steeper than our 10% grade hill, and that clip might come up here at some point. And it you're not going to get the top speed when you're going up and down on this crazy terrain, but it's going up it, and it's super fun. And like I would say for your weekend warriors or your rural folks that have actual this type of terrain like around them, we have to go to special places in Berkeley to find anything without houses. Yeah, good, very good off-road. Shadows of Smoke. Can you demo the folding of the handlebars? I can't seem to get mine to fold. Thank you. Okay. You guys' questions are awesome. So I have like 3 pages of notes and I've only gone through the first paragraph of them. So we're just going right to this. So you can see in the video here, we did get the handlebars to fold. However, the right handlebar did not fold right away. There are two big cons to this scooter with the build quality. Overall build quality is really good, and I was going to go over the whole thing, but I'll just skip to this part, which is the cons of the build quality. There's 2 things that happen. One, the headlights fall out like one of those cartoon guys with their eyes hanging around and bobbling back and forth with the little nerves or whatever. That's what happens to both lights on this scooter basically right away. As soon as you go over any rough terrain, both lights just pop right out and they're just dangling, right? It's kind of silly looking. So you need to screw those back in with Loctite. Second thing is, so for us, it was the right handlebar was so tight on there that we could not get it off as well. And so what we did is we used some tools, basically just some big wrenches or a little hammer to like smack it over. Then we filed down the top, and then we use a little WD-40 to get it in. Now, what's cool is that we actually got my Uncle Jim. I took that scooter for New Year's. My Uncle Jim is like an engineer, and so he fixed up both of those things. While I was there, I was like, hey, let's just film this because I think other people are gonna want to know. We filmed it. We made a video on it. We released it, I think about an hour ago. We didn't premiere it or anything. It's unlisted. But the link, I think the link is in the video description right now. So if you refresh your browser or open up another tab or something, the link to that should be in the description. If it's not, then maybe our producer or just someone that's watching. Not someone. It could only be Justin and our producer. But if you look in our YouTube account, we can link that in the live show notes. But it should be in the video description. Anyway, it's about an 8-minute video. It will help you to get your handlebars to fold. There are 2 things that you do need to fix on this scooter. It's not perfect, right? I think there's a reason why, right? It's a $500, $1,000, $1,800 less than comparable scooters. Those are 2 of the reasons. Again, it's not. It's a couple tools that you might need. However, I think a lot of the people that ride this scooter are not going to be folding it because it's not like a portable scooter. It does fold down somewhat small, but the damn thing's 82 pounds. It's not really a scooter I would want to take up and downstairs, and I have been taking it up and downstairs because our office and my home is both upstairs. So that's all I've been doing for 2 weeks is getting the scooter up and downstairs. So, yeah. So, okay. So Thrill Seeker Man 01 is asking, does that scooter come with a seat? So it does not come with a seat, but you can order a seat. And I think I linked the link of that in the video description. You can also just go on Amazon and look at the product. And I think when on Amazon it says like people purchase this with or something, or recommended accessories. I think it's on there, and you can get the seat on it. Yeah, Mr. Cool Fantastic is asking about the Wide Wheel Pro, how it will handle 225 pounds. What do you think? What do you think, Ramir? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
That's all right.
So our producer's 230 pounds. He says it's all right at 230. So, I think it says 220 for the max weight capacity on the Wide Wheel Pro. It can do 230, but you're pushing it, I think, a little bit at that point. Okay. So let's see here. Back to my notes here. But great questions, everybody. Really good. Ride quality. Let's go over. Range. We never finished talking about the range. All right. So we do the range test on all the scooters. Same range test we do every time. Although wintertime we might be a hair underperforming, right? Because they don't go as far in the winter, I think. But we did get 34.3 miles of range on the scooter, which is respectable. The Wolf Warrior got like 42 miles of range. It got further than I think the Mantis was around 29 miles, the 10X around 25 miles, all good amounts of miles. It's just thinking about what you're going to use it for, right? If you're going into the woods for the day and you're going to just be riding on trails forever, you might need some extra miles, right? Especially if you're just constantly up and down hills and using the brakes a ton and going up hills in dual motor mode, then you're gonna want something that's got some good battery watt hours, right? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, ride quality. So let's talk about ride quality. So like some people are saying or thinking, maybe not saying, but or asking, right? With these knobby tires, is it gonna be vibrating a ton on normal roads, right? So the answer is actually yes and no. Up to about 8 miles an hour, you feel vibrations, but it's not like an uncomfortable vibration, right? It's not the same vibration you get on a solid tire scooter with crappy suspension, right? Not crap. I mean, just cheaper scooters, right? I ride those things constantly. That's what most of our reviews have been on. And boy, after 15, 20 miles on those, it's like my whole body's vibrating. It sucks. It's like a brain massage half the time. This is not like that. Up to about 8 miles an hour, you feel vibrations, but they're so minor and they're so quick, right? The hertz or whatever is just so high that like it kind of just blends into nothing. And then once you're about to 10, I actually don't notice any vibrations coming from the tires anymore. When you do have, right, these bigger tires, right, these 11-inch tires, but also they're really wide. So there's a lot of air and a lot of area for the tire to compress into itself. And so you do have actual damping coming from this tire that's significant. A lot of my riding and even our range test, of course, is all on normal roads. We're not off-roading this for 34 miles, right? Our range tests are standardized. So these tires do have really good damping on their own. Then secondly, you've got actually quite excellent suspension. The rear has a coil over hydraulic suspension and the front has a dual hydraulic suspension. And so like, I mean, is it up to the level of the Thunder Wolf Warrior 10X? No, it's not that good, right? Mantis, right? Those are your best suspensions like ever. This is one notch below that. So it's really good. It's not excellent. That's how I would say, right? 4 out of 5 stars, right? That's how I would say for the suspension. But when you add in these like big tires, and if you have the road tires, it's going to be even like more smooth. Now, for kind of ride quality, when you're riding on the main roads and you come across a big rock, a twig, a small branch that falls in your way, that is disastrous for a lot of scooters. What's cool about this scooter and what makes it actually safer is that you have these bigger tires that can actually chew up the like things that are in your way, right? And don't try to go over like tree trunks that have fallen in the way, because it's not going to do that. But where other tires, small tires, will have issues, right? Just look up like what is it called? The wheel over curb problem in physics, right? The bigger the tire, the less force you need to roll over things, right? And with these knobs on them, right, they're going to actually even do better with that. So when you're on the road, it's actually like kind of awesome to ride these on the road with the knobby tires, because I don't have to be as careful with any little twig in my path. Also, compared to smaller tires, right, when you have a lot of topographic terrain or like, big cracks in the road where smaller tires are going to kind of get stuck in them, and then they're going to track that rather than track where you want, you're not going to have a problem with these wide tires. It's similar to like the wide wheel, the wide wheel scooters or the 08X. Geez, am I talking too much? Oh, geez, we only have 2 minutes left? Okay. Are those tires standard? Sean Thompson. Man, Sean, you got a lot of good questions. Yes. So you can get them with this. That's standard. If you want the other kind of tire, you buy it on Amazon. You just ask them to put on the road tire. And I don't believe it costs any different. Thrill Seeker Man 01, is it reliable? So after we did those 2 mods, right, which is the handlebar to get it to fold easy, and then we stuck on the lights, it has been reliable. Now we only have about 100 miles on the scooter, but so far nothing has given us any pause, right? We have a tiny bit of wobble in the left handlebar. There's no stem wobble at all. Tires we haven't had a puncture in the tires. The brakes have been fantastic. I haven't even done a brake adjustment yet. And there's no squeaking really yet either, which is awesome. All right. So, okay, we have 1 minute left. Man, I think I need to say subscribe to our channel if you're watching this. stay tuned. The link is in the video description. We'll link it up in the live chat right now and link the video review because we have the premiere coming. I hope you all will, I'll be in the live chat so we can chat there about that scooter or whatever scooters you want, so we can continue this conversation over there in just a minute. So yeah, subscribe to us. If you're watching this, just please give us a thumbs up because that helps us a lot. It helps other people find our content, so we can keep doing this. Yeah, if you have questions after the show, then, definitely hit up our Facebook group. Until then, ride safe and don't forget to wear your helmet. We'll see y'all next week with the eMove Touring live show, video review, all that stuff. I'm going to post a link right now in the chat to go to the premiere, which I'll be at in just a minute, but you won't hear me anymore. All right. See you next week.